Okay, so yeah, we can go ahead and get started. We have a good group, and usually at this time I have more kind of like trickling in, but um, I think it's a good time to get started. And I guess, yeah, how I wanted to start was by introducing you, Lyons and Sam. Y'all are the organization, the Kids 2017. So let me just introduce you to my students a bit. So I was telling them a little bit how I met you. I met you last year. I think it was really last year at one of the migrant shelters in Tijuana, and we were coming down to play some music and provide some musical relief. And then while we were there, you all just showed up with like a truckload of stuff. Like I remember thinking like you were like carrying bags like you were Santa Claus or something.
I look
And,
like Santa Claus.
well, no, but you had definitely like a presence of like the kids like were coming up and just wanting to see what you had right away. It was a little chaotic because there's a lot of people at this little shelter, but it was really cool to meet you guys and then just to learn more about you and your organization and how you help migrant youth, but also just helping people in general and kind of leading this life like of activism and leadership. And I think for my students, there's a lot of information that they're trying to gather about, in particular, like migrant youth, but also just, people in general who are affected by these systems, the systems that are like, racially unequal, unequal in terms of class and everything. So it all kind of connects. So I'm hoping we can get to know you a little bit more, and then I gave you the list of questions that they asked, and we'll touch on like a couple of those that you're interested in, a few of those if you're, well, however much we have time for, I guess. So yeah, if you can go ahead and kind of introduce who you are and a little bit about your organization, that would be great. And we also have we also have Sam joining us as part of the Kids 2017, so he's here as well.
Definitely. So, first and foremost, I want to thank everybody that has logged in, is taking time out of their day. I had to throw in a vacation day for today, but most importantly, I'm here for you guys, and I'm here to let you guys know that my organization was started off in 2017. And I started off because, I went across the border one day and I met this little kid and he was hungry. And I bought him some tacos because I didn't really believe it. I was kind of skeptical in regards to like, why he was hungry. But then he came, and the way he ate the food was like unbelievable. From there on out, I just started going down there, and I have a 6-year-old son that I take along with me. At the time, he was like 3 years old. And so I started realizing that this little child opened my eyes to a different world. Just simply because I was just caught up in my situation, and then I went like fully hardcore into activism. And from there on out, once you enter this world, it's like you meet a bunch of wonderful people. We don't have to go far. That's how I met, Jennifer. Just coming in and out, you meet a lot of wonderful people. Sam, where did I meet you? I don't remember where I even met you. Sam's just been coming along, like, I don't know if you want to touch a little bit where we met and how we met before we get into this.
My name is Sam. I'm also involved in the group. Me and Lion met at a different organization at a meeting. Then from there, he stated that he was involved in this organization. I ended up joining the organization. For me, I'm first Native American Indian. I was adopted. One of the things that we do in TJ is an orphanage. that right there is a real passion for me, because I know what it feels like for a kid that doesn't have a family, a house, or a place to call home. Transferring to different homes, um, the kid doesn't have anything. Our first Christmas, Thanksgiving down there, it was a total surprise opener. These kids never had Christmas gifts, Thanksgiving. So it was a real eye opener. The organization also does different stuff. Secret Asylum, that was another eye opener of the hardship of how people are living and the hardship of coming here to the States. But yeah, that's how I met Lion.
So yeah, Sam has been devoted, and I mean, I think Sam right now, you know, he's always been my go-to guy. Um, Everything we do is self-funded. Uh, you know, and every now and then we, you know, get GoFundMe, but most importantly, we're there to show the other side of the border that there's somebody there that cares. And I think that's really, really, really important. And I highly recommend, once this pandemic is lifted, if everyone could get a chance to go over, if they can, and experience it firsthand, and not through like a YouTube video, not through, or get involved if possible with an organization and see how you could contribute into this, which starts off with one of the first questions. And it says, what if we could turn the San Isidro border into something that connects us instead of divides us? And that's a really, really, really important question, because I think that the only way that it's ever going to connect us is if we go across, because they can't come across and get to know them personally. You'll be surprised and shocked on how many stories you hear, and there's like different links of life that come across and wait patiently at the border. Sometimes some people are there standing in the Patty West for like hours and hours and hours, and sometimes they get seen, sometimes they don't. The asylum process sometimes takes years. And right now, I don't know if you're at the comfort of your home, but if you could kind of visualize how it is, Jennifer, I'm pretty sure seeing it firsthand. They share bathrooms, and there's like 89 people to like one bathroom or two bathrooms, I think it is now. But can you imagine if you really have to go to the restroom, or if you want to take a shower, you have to wait. So that is a real big eye opener, because it makes you, you know, be grateful for like the basic necessities in life. Um, you know, and if anyone is ever welcome to come down with Sam or myself, you guys are more than welcome to come. You know, I have an open invite. I'm willing to accept anybody that comes with a positive state of mind and just with an open mindset to go in there and see how we can actually work together as a team, because that's what's needed right now, especially during this pandemic. I think there was a question on that as well. I think it was anonymous 2 days ago. It said, how is the immigration changed because of this pandemic? I don't know if you guys are aware, but Trump had put a pause for like, I believe it's like, what is it, Sam? Like 60 days, I believe, or 30 days or something like that, where nothing's going to be
30 days
processed.
right now.
So that's all dead time. People are scared of this pandemic, and not a lot of people are going down to the border because they're scared. With that being said, there's a lot of mom and pop shops that are losing on both sides of the border, as well as ours, as well as theirs. But theirs is a little bit more hard. I just went over last weekend, and it broke my heart to see street vendors saying, "I'm willing to exchange my makings for food." it's gotten to that point. So if it's gotten to that point with the street vendors outside, imagine people that are seeking asylum, especially the youth that cannot go out there because even though they're seeking asylum in Mexico, they're still illegally in Mexico. So they're facing double hardship. It's not
Yeah.
just one hardship, it's double hardship. Um, it's sad that Central Americans and Mexico, I'm not going to paint a bad portrait of Mexico because a lot of us are welcoming. I come from a Mexican descent. We're real welcoming. But there are a couple of and a few that feel that they're superior than those of Guatemala or Honduras, Nicaragua, the Africans that are coming, the people from Haiti. I met a really amazing brother from Yemen, and it's sad.
Yeah, one of my friends who is living at a shelter called Casa de Luz, he was arrested on the beach because he was walking. He was like walking on the beach, but I think he's from Guatemala, and so he's like kind of visibly, darker, has different features or whatever, and so he was attacked by a police officer and arrested, and because he's 17 years old now, he's under their care. And like it's like they're like singled out even when they're trying to just like live their lives and like make it through Tijuana to come here. And yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because it's a like hostile kind of, maybe not hostile, uncomfortable environment for sure.
Yeah, it is. I think that the power is within us as a community to kind of like go out there and visually put kind of their perspective. We're kind of like their voice. I ask the youth all the time, hey, what can I do for you, or how can I help you? Because I'm not. Some people think that we're there to help them, but in reality, they're there to help us, to humble us down, to remind us that we're all human, and to be grateful. Like I keep reminding for just the basic things. Um, I think the most uh, messed up thing that I've ever read was um, I asked them what would you like for Christmas. A little kid, 5 years old. No, was he five? Yeah, he was 7 years old actually. Uh, he was like, I just want some hot Cheetos and a bar of soap. That was on his Christmas wish list. And I'm expecting like a PS4, like you know what I mean? I'm thinking like, oh, I'm scratching my head. I'm like, creator,
The new
please give me,
Nikes or
yeah.
something.
and that's what they want. You know what I mean? I've worked with some of the youth, um, and I'm not gonna mention any names, but some of them do come in a train called La Bestia from like Honduras, and they travel up. And some of them are like claiming that the person they came with is their uncle, but it's not. It's just someone that they met along the way. Um, but one must ask, why are they leaving? How can we make it better for them? How can we educate them? And that's where you guys come in, because it's all up to you guys. Like we're doing like a little bit of help and this place where it's like it needs a lot of help. But um I've met people from Central America that didn't get accepted into the system of political asylum, and they have no choice but to make it there in Tijuana. And if you're there illegally in Tijuana, it's tough. Um, I could share some of the audios. We don't have time for that right now, but if anybody is willing to like email me, I could share a couple of stories and stuff like that. I did ask for permission because I think that's most importantly, to share some of these stories. And that right there is where you guys come in.
Someone had a question about if you like what happens when you kind of connect to like one kid, you know, like if there's obviously you have memorable stories, but like I think their question was like, what happens if you kind of, you know, have a real connection with a kid? Can you stay in contact with them, or like, how does that
Yes.
work?
I do have kids that actually I had a couple of kids where some of their aunts, uncles, whoever's like legally guardians of them would call my phone directly and would tell me, "Oh my God, you're such a blessing. I'm in Florida. I'm working. Um, I'm gonna send you $100 anonymous, but just know that it's coming from me. And what I want you to do is I want you to continue going back and helping people out just like you helped me. I was stuck in a position where I felt I wasn't gonna go anywhere, but you came, you brought gifts, you brought words of wisdom, you brought the acts of kindness, and you built relations with that. I think that maybe we continuously keep going down there because I strongly believe that maybe one day we'll spark the mind of a person that's going to change the world. We don't know who we're helping. You don't know what they're going to become. They could be, you know, the next Bill Gates, the next Warren Buffett. You don't know that. And to know that you spark that mind is the reason why I'm pretty sure Sam goes out there as well, because we know sooner or later they're going to be grateful. They're going to share those stories and pass it down to their children's children. And it's just the cycle of life.
Yeah. Maybe we can like back up a little bit. I'm just putting some information up about La Bestia because we haven't really touched on that in our class yet.
Sure.
But I'm wondering if you could back up a little bit to kind of talk about like how you like started having this like frame of mind, or like maybe Sam can. I mean, Sam did already share about kind of how you got into this work, which is really good. But so did the Kids 2017 kind of start out as like, I'm going to bring donations down there? Or did it start off in another way? And like, were you doing something else before that? Other type of work?
I've been an activist pretty much all my life.
Mm-hmm.
From corporations trying to privatize water in the local communities in which my grandmother grew up in. My going back a little bit, my mom and my dad, they're both from the same rancho in Mexico. Um, but over there, the influenza took a lot of people out and left my grandma as an orphan. And so, uh, again, it plays a role again. Through the kindness of others helping out my grandma is the reason why my dad was alive, and then is the reason why I'm alive. And then I was just stuck in my own world, and then they would keep telling me these stories, and then something just clicked in, and I just said, I need to go out there and help, because that's where it's at. And so I don't know how Sam just got involved because of the how did you become an activist, Sam? I don't know if you want to touch on that and how you like.
For me, it's political. I heard it like through Bernie Sanders. From there, I met different organization that was helping the community here in LA. I started feeling the homeless in downtown LA. Within 5-10 years, the homeless population has boomed. We have hundreds of thousands of homeless encampments. People live on the streets. They have nowhere to go, and it's skyrocketing. Then I got involved with this organization, which really means a lot to me, as I said, because I was adopted. But I like helping out other people, especially the kids. We do have refugees coming here as kids, and for me, that's a high priority of helping them, because you don't know what it could happen to them if they fall in the prey of somebody else. But that's why you do it. It's all for the kids.
I agree. You know, even if they are accepted into the asylum seeking process, it's like, where are they going after that, and are they taking care of it? Yes, like they may have sponsors, but is that like a healthy situation? Or if
Um,
they're, um,
so some kids are coming here alone, and they do have some where to go, a family member here in the States. There are some that back home, that's their only option is come to the States. They have nobody, no family. Um, it's hard. It's harder for them to be stuck in TJ because they have no paperwork. I'm sure, I'm not guaranteeing it, but I'm sure there are people that are willing to help, give them helping hand coming over the border. But that is still kind of sketchy and hard because we don't really know where they're actually going. There's no record of where they're going, but it's really hard for these kids. There are special shelters in TJ that they don't let nobody else in. They don't care who you are, just for the protection of the child. But yeah,
yeah, I think that like it's lucky that there are a lot of shelters right now, and that like they are funded, but there still needs to be more protections. Like you said, they don't even have records, you know, of their names
yeah,
or where they were or how old they are, and like they're in a really vulnerable position to be like taken advantage of, you know, and
yeah,
used to like cross even. Like we've definitely seen that as part of the Armadillo Search and Rescue, like that kids do cross, you know, and that they're kind of used sometimes for, you know, illegal purposes to cross. And so it's crazy because when you're there, you know, like Lion was saying at the shelters, they're kids, you know, you're just hanging out with them, and then it's very scary to know that their future might hold something very dark. And if there was a way for you to like intervene, you know, you would do like almost anything. So I'm sure Lion has like some stories about that too. But I wanted to kind of draw back to their questions that they wrote for you, and see if there's any that kind of pop out. But let's see.